Hi, I'm Parker, and I use they, them pronouns.
Hello, my name is Mike, and I use he, him pronouns. And
Welcome to
is
the Graphic Novel Podcast. We do it the same way every week, but you want to change things up, huh?
I know. Okay, this is a show where we discuss graphic novels, zines, and other comics, and we throw in a little bit of real life.
We talk about queer issues, race issues, death, relationships, and so much more.
Each and every week on Friday, we release a new show for you. And to help us out, if you went to Apple Podcasts and gave us 5 stars or reviewed the show, or go to Spotify, YouTube, any place, and give us a review, that would really help us.
Make sure you subscribe to our podcast, because then every week when we record, it goes live. It shows right up in your feed, and you can listen as soon as you are able.
That's right. You can interact with us on Twitter, Facebook, and Insta. And if you want to leave us a voice message, you can do that by going to anchor.fm/graphic novel podcast.
Most importantly, the way we get the show out is if you tell your friends about it. So make sure you're sharing our podcast with your friends.
That's right. And welcome, Parker. How's it going?
It's going pretty good. A little sore.
Yeah.
Overdid it this week.
Like in 1 or 2 days? Yeah.
Yeah, it was mostly one day. My just overdid it.
Yep.
And so paying for it now.
I know. Me too. I worked 7 out of 8 days, and 3 or 4 of them were overtime too. So it's been a long week.
Yeah. I can actually feel in my chest where it's like swollen.
I feel in my head where it's swollen.
That sounds like a major problem. You should probably get you to the hospital.
No, not today.
So see, you think that my
No, your pain is not
body's
unreal.
a joke.
Your pain is not.
You just called it a joke.
Your joke is not unreal. It is real. Believe me, I've seen it and I've touched it. Anyhow,
that just went in a really strange direction.
Anyhow, So we've got a good week. I think everything's going to be good. Finally, the weekend for me, and get back on a regular schedule, and things should be good.
Yeah, let's hope that things go good.
Yeah, I hope so.
I mean, we're looking at schools, and all the schools are starting to release their plans for going back in fall, and
right.
I don't know.
I know it's questionable on what we're going to do. I mean, it sounds like a lot of educators around the country are concerned. They're college educators that are concerned, that colleges are going to open, and they're like, no, we're not real cool with this.
Which is strange to me, because the college professors don't really have to come into that close of contact. I mean, they do see a lot more people,
right,
but they're not nearly as close in contact with their students as like primary grades are.
Like kindergartners, pre-Kers. I mean, they're just all
touching
over the kids.
And redirecting.
Yeah, probably first,
constantly.
Second graders. Yeah, they're just.
And the districts around us, a lot of them are saying that the preschool, kindergarten, and first would all go for 4 days a week. And I'm like, those are the kids who are the snottiest and the touchiest and the.
Yeah, they should probably maybe start with 2 days at the most.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, but
I don't know.
I feel like my answer is keep the kids home.
Well,
that's coming from a place of privilege, because we can. There's a lot of people who have to choose between going to work and, therefore, feeding their children versus, staying home with the kids so they get an education and don't get sick and die. And
right.
I mean, it's such a mess.
I thought it was interesting on there's a state mandate that you're supposed to wear face coverings anytime you're outside of the home.
Right.
And I've noticed that in most stores, it's almost 100%, which is great. And at work, it's almost 100% with coworkers.
Yeah.
But I like in the school thing, the letter home, that it says that this is not from the district. This is a state mandate that your children have to wear face coverings.
Yeah.
Don't come yelling at us. They're like, we're telling you this isn't our decision.
But it's so ridiculous too, because they should be. Why are we not on the same page? If this wasn't some political thing, because it's been made into a political thing, because the dipshit in charge has said, well, you can wear one or not, but I'm not going to wear one.
Exactly.
And so now it's this political divide, and calling it a hoax too. Like, so Democrats are going to wear their masks and ask other people to wear them, and Republicans are like, it's a hoax. I mean, not every Republican. I'm painting a broad brush here.
Not every Democrat either, but yeah. No, I know.
No, but I mean,
Yes.
it's pretty obvious sometimes, and it's just so frustrating because it's like, if it wasn't that way, because it just makes it seem like the school district is trying to say, we're not being political here.
That's exactly what they're saying.
But it's not political. It's public health. Like,
but I don't think it was even saying that. Actually, I don't think that was saying political. It's saying, don't come and tell us that you don't want your kid to wear a mask. But that's why,
because the people who are going to complain about it are
going to be the dumb shits.
Trumpsters.
Exactly. All right. Off of our rant for the week.
We have one every week.
We have to.
It's kind of like a segment.
It is. There we go. I missed the button.
Can't miss the button.
All right. This week on the news. So a while back, I read Headlocked comic. It's a wrestling comic. You remember I did that? It was a review of one of their comics that I got from one of the creators or publishers. It's good stuff. It was a fun read. And so they sent me a message that they got a Kickstarter going. And it's already been funded. They still have 17 days to go. It's called Headlocked, Tales from the Road, an anthology of short stories set in the Headlocked universe, co-created by some of the biggest names in wrestling. So it's already funded, and now they have some stretch goals going, which are pretty cool. Let's see, at $20,000, they're going to add art from 4 of the most creative independent wrestlers on the scene. And they'll be creating new characters. And at $25,000, they'll add a new story by a mystery contributor that will be revealed when they unlock the 20,000 stretch goal. But let's see. So Headlocked, a bunch of different wrestling themes. You've got stuff by Jerry the King Lawler and a bunch of other people. I'm trying to see if I can find any other names, but
I was going to try and do the King.
I don't know what his
impression, but I can't.
You know what it is?
I can hear it, but I can't. I couldn't do it justice.
The only thing I can think of is not him. I'm thinking of what's his name now? Can't think of his name. But the guy, he goes back to the 70s, and then he came back like in the 90s again, and he's got to be in his 90s now. But no, not him. But anyhow, there's a lot of them. It's some cool stuff. So if you're interested, again, it's on Kickstarter, Headlocked, Tales from the Road. And let's see what else we got. Oh, so there is another. We mentioned this Comicsgate stuff before. Someday they're going to find us and they're going to attack us. But until that time,
right?
I don't ever highlight them in any of the notes or anything. But one of the publishers that we've talked about quite a few times, I bought books from them. Found out that the CEO jumped into a Zoom meeting or something and donated money to some Comicsgate people or stuff. So
people or stuff.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what it was, but then I found out that there's a bunch of creators, artists that are doing work for them, and some people I didn't know. I know some of these names from they've been doing comics for years,
right?
And I mean, it makes sense that there's creeps everywhere, and it's just that they're all coming out of the woodwork, and so we won't be talking about that publisher ever again. All right, and that's it for the news segment. But I've got one more review before we get to our main review of the week. This book, I'm pretty sure this book was given away for what?
Nothing. I was just reading the bio of the author.
Well, you will get there.
I know, but I was just reading it because it's not, because we have a digital copy, and so I found out something interesting about him, and I was like, oh,
okay, yeah.
Sorry,
you're good. All right.
I know you just looked over in my face. Was like,
well, let me just look up one thing. I'm pretty sure that this book here, I got a free copy because I think it was nominated for an award or something. That's why. Yeah, I can't find it. IDW. I got it through IDW. Here it is. IDW, your order is complete. Ghost Tree Digital. I'm pretty sure they were giving it away because it was nominated for an award. But Ghost Tree is a book by. Let me pull it up here. Oh, here, gotta hit read. Written by Bobby Curnow, art by Simon Gagne, colors by Ian Herring with Becca Kinsey, letters by Chris Mowry, and Takuma Okada is the consultant. Ghost Tree, story about, I believe they're Japanese. Now, I don't remember, but I believe they're Japanese. And it's a young boy. He's visiting his grandparents, primarily his grandfather, takes him in the woods, talks about this old big tree and says, when I die, I want you to come back to this tree in 10 years to visit me. So then it jumps to the future where he's going back to visit. His grandmother's still there. And he goes out and visits this tree and finds out that there's his grandfather. His grandfather, he can talk to him. He can talk to his dead grandfather. And he finds out that he can talk to other dead people. And they're all people like stuck in between that haven't moved on to whatever plane they're going to. And apparently, like every other generation in this family can talk to the dead. So the grandfather could, and he used to go and he used to spend hours and hours out at this tree talking to the dead. And his wife never knew why he was gone all the time. She just thought that he didn't care about her and he wasn't spending time with her. And so this story is about this guy he's got his own troubles. He ran away from his wife because they're having marital problems. So he thought maybe if he went, back to his childhood and visit his, this tree, like his grandfather said, and, maybe he could clear his head and be ready to go back and, get back to his marriage and straighten things out. And it's cool. It's a story about, all these people, all these dead people. And he meets this girl who he was in love with when they were teenagers.
Wow, really?
Yeah, they fell in love in one summer. She's dead.
Obviously, since he's speaking today.
Yeah, she's dead. And, and so they have this connection, even though she's dead still. Or still, they still have a connection.
But are they dead? Is she dead?
She's not dead. But
wait, she's not dead?
She is dead. It's a really good book. I really liked it. I liked it a lot. Ghost Tree is definitely worth reading. The color, the art, the story, everything about it was really good. And I enjoyed it a lot.
I am surprised because you were so embarrassed that I had a history of talking to trees. And
you know what? The past year or two, like everything's changed in my head. I don't know what happened to me.
So when I was a little kid, we had this, we lived out in the woods and I had this tree in our backyard. It was an old cedar tree. And I named him Medicine Man, and I would sit in the tree for hours and talk to the tree. And it's where we ended up burying some of our pets that we had lost. And also my Uncle David's ashes were buried there for a time, but we dug them back up when we moved. Which is kind of weird, but whatever. Anyway, so I told Mike this, and he's like, don't ever tell anybody that story ever again.
Yeah. But you know what? You mentioned it to me the other day, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? Why?
I wasn't ashamed of it as a little kid. Like, I don't think I told kids at school, but like all my neighbors knew about Medicine Man.
Yeah, I don't know. I've changed.
And I would be like, let's go climb Medicine Man.
A lot of things aren't that important anymore.
Well, I mean, I can't change who I am.
To me, that's I don't know why I even said that. There were things I said a couple of years ago or even a year ago that I wouldn't say today. So
yeah, I know.
I think my brain
it's called growth, honey.
That's a big growth. Right. Never mind. Anyhow, moving on. Anyhow, yeah, it's the Ghost Tree it was really good.
That's what I think of when you were reading it. I was like,
yeah,
that's Medicine Man.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not. I didn't talk to ghosts.
No, I understand.
I talked to
but these people really did.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's the conclusion's good. I mean, his marriage and grandfather and all that. It all concludes. Really good. It's a good story.
Okay, so, Yeah, that's very cool.
Yep. Go
Are
ahead.
we ready to move on to the? Do you have more stories? I'm sorry.
No, that's all I've got.
I just found something that's
About?
really strange.
No, go ahead. You can go.
So I'm searching. Sorry, the book so that I can pull.
You
up.
know, I talked about the creators, right? You do the bio.
I know.
Okay, so can we talk about the creators before we talk about them?
Well, I want to bring this up first.
Oh, okay. If it's important in that order,
That's
good.
I just typed in the title of the book.
Mhm.
So this other book comes up, and the author is completely different, but it's the same title of the book. But the author is different, so it's like, oh, that's weird. So then I read it, and it's a very similar synopsis,
Huh.
but it came out last year.
Huh.
And published by Simon and Schuster.
What?
Yeah, it's really strange.
Really?
It's called Virtually Yours, but it's by Sarvanes Tash, and it takes place at NYU.
Really?
Yeah.
What's the synopsis of it?
You really want me to read it?
Yeah, I want to hear what it is.
Okay, NYU freshman Miriam Vakilian hasn't dated anyone in 5 months, not since her high school sweetheart Caleb broke up with her. So when she decides to take advantage of an expiring coupon and try out a new virtual reality dating service, it's sort of a big deal. It's an even bigger deal when it chooses one of her 3 matches, none other than Caleb himself, that has to be a sign, right? Except her other match, Jeremy, just happens to be her new best friend in real life.
What the fuck? All right, don't read anymore.
Okay.
All right.
That's weird, right?
That is weird because I doubt. I mean, yes, people can put something together quickly, but there's no way they dreamed this up, got a publisher, and got everything. It was literally the press release was yesterday. You know,
this it says it was published in June of 2019.
I believe you.
Hardcover.
Yeah.
Published June 4th, 2019. Simon & Schuster.
Well,
it's very strange.
Let's get to this. All right. As the saying goes, looking for love in all the wrong places. We live in a world. Let's see. Let's get to the book. Is called Virtually Yours. Virtually Yours. It's by the creators Jeremy Holt, Elizabeth Beals, and Adam Wollett, and it's a Comixology original. And the press release just came out yesterday. So we can talk about it. We had gotten a preview copy, and they said just don't talk about it until it's official. So we're doing a review of it today because we like the book.
Loved it, actually.
So why don't you do the synopsis of this one that we're actually reviewing?
Okay, I will as soon as I have it up.
Okay, you do that. Comixology.
I got hooked on the old other one.
Comixology, in case you didn't know, is owned by Amazonia. All right, I could do the people.
Yeah, let's do the
Okay, the creator, Jeremy Holt, is a Vermont-based non-binary author whose most recent works include Before Houdini, After Houdini, Skip to the End. An original art page from his book After Houdini was acquired by the Houdini Museum in New York City, where it now hangs in their permanent collection. He graduated from the Savannah College of Art and Design with a BFA in sound design. When he's not writing, this Mac genius is fixing computers and getting confused for his identical triplet brothers.
That was the shock. He's a triplet.
Oh yeah,
that's cool.
It is. It's very cool.
That's what when I was reading that.
Yeah. Okay. Elizabeth Beals is an Atlanta-based illustrator, best known for her love of detail, geeky pinups, and cover work. She graduated from the Savannah College of Art and Design with a BFA in illustration. When not drawing, she enjoys baking, wooing the neighborhood cats, and rereading all her magical girl manga. And Adam Wollett is a writer and letterer from Jacksonville, Florida. He's the co-creator of Kingdom Burn, and his lettering work can be found in books from Image Comics, Heavy Metal Magazine, Action Lab Entertainment, and others.
Alrighty. We live in a world where the dating app is the preferred tool for finding a relationship. Whoops, I'm on the wrong thing here.
What are you reading?
Yeah, you know.
That's a quote.
Yep. Oh, come on. Give me a break.
Do I need to read
I'm not
this
usually
too?
this. My computer was not loading. Okay. All right. I think I found the
Okay.
synopsis.
Are you sure?
Yes. I mean, there was like 15 different. I was really impressed. There's a lot of things that come up for it, but
Oh.
now I'm like, are they all to the other one? And that's why so many things are coming up. I don't know. Whatever. Okay. Hopefully, yep. Okay. It says Comixology and it has the correct photo. Yep. Okay. Shouldn't finding a life partner be more challenging than ordering a pizza? Welcome to Virtually Yours, a virtual dating app that provides all the proof of being in a relationship without actually being in one. With her career front of mind, Eva Estrella joins Virtually Yours after a nudge from her sister to alleviate some family pressure as she continues to look for her dream job in journalism, while Max Kittredge, a former child star in the middle of a divorce, takes a gig at Virtually Yours servicing multiple clients.
Whoa.
As a fake boyfriend.
Oh, he's servicing multiple clients.
As they navigate their current circumstances. I can't get through this or you're going to make me laugh all day. Oh, God. As they navigate their current circumstances, both Eva and Max find that sometimes that what you're looking for is right in front of you. Virtually Yours is a rom-com for the digital age with from writer Jeremy Holt and artist Elizabeth Beals. This exciting new collaboration includes letterer Adam Wollett.
I think.
Hopefully. I'm sorry, Adam, if I'm wrong. Book designer Tim Daniel and editor Kat Vendetti. Together, they present a refreshing take on a beloved genre that will appeal to anyone familiar with love in the time of the internet. Part of the Comixology Originals line of exclusive digital content, only available on Comixology and Kindle.
All right. So, the book is
full color.
The
art was great. I love the art.
112 pages, and it's great. And
is it really 112 pages?
You know what I love, and I'm sure you do too. The people are real people. They look like real people. They're shaped like real people.
Yeah, but I mean that's a. I see what you're saying. Yes.
They're not just all a bunch of generic skinny white people or anything.
And they were all people of color.
Yep.
Eva is Latinx. And
Max
is black.
Yep.
And I don't even know, were there any white? Oh yeah, his wife was white.
Oh yeah.
But yes, very people of color centered, which I love.
But the white wife almost seems like the evil character.
Oh, she absolutely is evil.
Yeah.
And manipulative and toxic and abusive.
So the one thing I noticed is a lot of details. We've talked about some books sometimes where the artists they concentrate on like the character and that close up stuff. Here, Elizabeth covers the backgrounds. Like the backgrounds, there's lots of detail and rooms there and cupboards and what's on the walls and all kinds of stuff. It's like nothing is left. There's almost always something there. It's like there's no just blank backgrounds.
Yeah, there's in the one
there is a few, but
they're showing when Max and his wife got married, bought their apartment, and there's somebody walking a dog in the background. It's like that was it didn't need to be there, but it was just that little bit of extra detail that or the palm trees in the back, lots of details. I mean, like kitchens and all this, and it's great. Looks great.
Love her. The way she, laid everything out. It looks really good. The story from Jeremy is great. I know it sounds similar to that other Virtual Years, but I'm sure it's not the same.
You're right. It wasn't. It's not the exact same thing.
Yeah, but it's weird that
it was weird. It was
same name and a very similar storyline. But it's cool. And as I'm reading it, as I was reading it, I told you because I read it first. I'm like, oh, this does have that movie rom-com storyline. You see the two things happening, and it's gonna happen there, and then it's gonna there. It's a good. I reading some script books. I had script writing books. I had found out about the genres and the stereotypical tropes that that movies had and books have. And I used that when I was writing my my fiction books, Because then you realize that there's certain things you got to do. You got to get the story to a certain point, then you got to do this, and then you got to do that. And that's how a lot of movies are. You can almost you can almost see. It's like we'll be watching a movie. I'm like, oh, we can see where this is going. These two, they're gonna fall in love. Then something's gonna happen. They're gonna break up, and at the end, they'll get back together again.
I hate it when things follow that exact thing.
But that's what it is, and that's what people like, and that's why people.
I'm just not people.
No, I know you like when this movie's going along and then it ends and everybody's dead or they don't get back together.
Well, I do like it when things don't have happy endings, but sometimes it's nice to have a happy ending too. No, I don't know. It depends. I mean, it depends. If it's good writing and stuff, then I enjoy it.
But you like when it's like, oh, I like that. They didn't end up happy. You know, it's like it's a good
life doesn't end happy. Exactly. That's realistic. But you also have to realize. I mean, I have to realize that part of enjoying the art of it is that it's an escape from
the entertainment. Yes, people like to have that escape, and it's like, oh, look, the happy ending. It's so nice.
Yeah.
This book has a happy ending, I think.
It does. It was good. I appreciated it.
We're not going to tell how it goes. But,
no, of course not. But okay, so I do want to talk about. So I'm just go ahead. So one of the first things that we start out with is starting that baseline of Eva's family, her mom really, hassling her about hassling. Well, her dad starts out asking about, how's the job search going?
Well, there's two things. I mean, it seems,
and then immediately her mom's like, getting on her about meeting somebody. And,
well, there's two things. It sounds like she's been looking for a job for a while.
Yes.
I don't know.
Because she doesn't want to settle and she's living at home.
She's got a journalism degree and she wants to get into journalism.
She wants to be in journalism. And I mean, I get that. I wouldn't want to, give up.
But yes, so she's living at home and her parents are starting to get in her case because she doesn't have a boyfriend. She doesn't have a job. She's I think they probably look at her as being just lazy, just sitting around doing nothing.
And I'm sure, but then she talks about how long she's spending actually looking for a job. Looking for a job in itself can be a full-time job, Mm-hmm. I mean, and emotionally exhausting, just looking for and finding nothing.
Yes, I did that at the end of 2018. Yeah. It's fucking exhausting, emotionally and physically, because you're going through all this. And nowadays, I mean, a lot of the interviews are online. You do even before the Zoom stuff. I mean, you're taking tests and you're trying to answer the questions, right? The job I have now,
big companies, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah. The job I have now, I mean, I failed the test the first time, so I didn't even get to the second phase because I didn't know what they were looking for. I didn't know what their answers were. It turned out that I was supposed to answer what I thought was right, but I didn't know. So I ended up taking it again a couple months later and got through. But
because it was like specific questions that could be different. They could be what the policy of the company is,
right,
versus what you would want to, like, what your gut feeling is about.
Because I remember asking you, I'm like, what should I do? Should I do this because this is what I do? But are they wanting me? I don't know what their policies are, and so I answered them wrong the first time. The second time, I'm like, nope, I'm going to say what I think they want.
Yeah.
And that was right.
Yeah.
So anyhow, but yeah, so it and you get an interview. I got the guy when I still had my one job before I got laid off. The guy calls me up. Oh yeah, okay, go fill out the thing there. Yeah, well, talking on the phone, everything.
Yeah.
Monday comes, don't hear from him. I call him multiple times, doesn't return my call. I'm like, fuck you, dude. It was like I had the job, and then all of a sudden I don't have the job. What the fuck? You don't even tell me why.
Yeah, that happens a lot, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I mean, ghosting,
I did interviews at a few other places and I ended up probably in the best place. I think I'm making more money than any of the other ones too. So it's like, screw you all. I ended up better.
You did.
But anyhow, so
back to the book
that we're here for.
Yes.
But yeah, so I mean, her parents are getting on her case.
Yeah.
And is it her older sister? Her older,
I believe so.
Her older sister,
or it might be younger sister, because there was something about. I don't remember. It's her sibling. I mean, it's not really important.
Who she helps her out, and she's like, "Oh, hey, look at this app I found. Here, you can get a boyfriend."
Yeah, so that's what I found interesting. At first, I was like, "Is it that she's closeted, and so she doesn't?"
Oh yeah.
And she's queer and doesn't want to. And then she started hanging out at this lesbian bar. Lesbian bar? Was it a gay bar? Whatever.
Yeah.
A queer bar. And so I was like, oh, okay. So she's out to her
Mhm.
sister. And so her sister is offering her a way to get her parents off her back without her having to come out to her.
Right.
So that was really interesting to me, to try and find out.
I think they were just friends. That's why they hung out over there.
Yes, I think so. So it
Yeah.
came out that, I mean, eventually she might still be queer, but
Yes.
that wasn't her reasoning for it. It was really about the fact that she was focused on getting her career going and focusing on her career,
Mhm.
which I found really, I mean, I found so much of it interesting too, but really interesting because I mean, it's just not something that you see in media. People who aren't women, especially, women are fed this idea that they need to get married and have kids, and that's all their existence is worth. And I just don't think that that's a reality. I don't think that that's how most women feel today. And
Well, that is what
it's really important. I think that it gets shown in media. That
I think you're right that's fed a lot of times. But I mean, going back even for years, there's always been women in leadership roles, but in business, and a lot of women in business. A lot of women,
absolutely.
a lot of women work. I mean,
but they don't
even when they were secretaries, secretaries have for the most part been women for decades. So there were women working outside the home for years.
No, absolutely, but they were expected to work outside of the home full time and also take care of the family full time and take care of the home full time and do all of it.
You're right. And while the man was the breadwinner, bringing home the big money and whatever.
Well, right.
So he didn't
doing nothing at home.
Well, he cut the grass on the weekends and had beer and barbecued and had the friends over.
Not necessarily, but yeah. But yeah, I mean, the typical, the gender stereotypes were all there that, and so, yeah, that was really refreshing to me to see that role. And I mean, I think it's really awesome to put that out there.
So Max Kittredge.
Kittredge.
He's a former. He has what's the Christmas movie that everybody watches now? Christmas Story, is that
the Christmas Story?
Now,
yeah.
Is that what
it's called? The Christmas Story,
the one with the shotgun and everything.
Yeah, the kid and the lamp. And
basically, that's what he was. He was the kid.
Christmas loop.
Yeah, he was that kid, and it's the movie that everybody watches at Christmas, and it's on like all the time, and it's everybody's favorite movie. But that's like his biggest role that he still makes residuals off of and has been living off of for years.
Yeah.
But he's trying to get into acting again and to be a serious actor as an adult.
It's so strange to me that people still recognize him too, because he was a child actor.
He hates it. And he's a comic book collector too.
Yeah, so when Eva sees him for the first time and they are talking about who he is, she brings it up, she asks him, not the first time that she sees him in the bar, but she sees him, I think the second time she sees him, she asks him if that's who he is, right? And so I was like, oh, that's it. It's over for her. That's over for her. No, I think he tells her. He does say no to other people who ask.
Oh, yeah. Like he'll be like the one in the comic shop. His friend, that's his friend.
Right.
That runs the comic book shop. That's his friend that he goes out with, right? Is it the same person?
Yes.
Okay. Same person that he hangs out with outside of work. And so he'll come in and get his comics, and one person, aren't you Max Kittredge? And he's like, nope. And just turns and leaves.
Wrong person.
And then his friend will be like, no, it's not. Why are you bothering my customers?
Yeah.
Same thing in a bar too. Like people ask things and they'll be like, no, just leave our customers alone.
Right.
But yeah, so he's got, and he's been married and he has a struggling relationship with his wife.
And you see pretty much right off the bat that she is abusive. And I think that was another thing that is huge too, is that a lot of times we don't see the woman in a relationship being the manipulative and abusive one. And then, and it does happen, and the men don't talk about it because they feel ashamed that they're, being hurt by a woman or whatever, like, oh, you're so weak that a woman could hurt you. Like that's and so he doesn't talk about it until he's getting divorced. And he finally tells his best friend that she had hit him, and his friend's like,
sounds like more than once.
His friend responded in the exact right way, like, oh my God, I had no idea. Like, I mean, of course you didn't know, but you know, I think that the way that he assumes his friend is going to respond, like,
Mhm.
really,
Because,
she's, you know, you're
You're a
a
big,
strong
strong guy,
guy,
yeah.
like, really,
But
she hurt you.
that's like Terry Crews. I
Yeah,
mean, coming out, he's a big fucking guy,
yeah,
and coming out and saying that he was harassed, abused on a
sexually
set.
assaulted.
Yeah,
Yeah,
on a set,
yeah,
and coming out and by another man.
yeah,
Um, that was
yeah.
a big thing for him to do.
Absolutely.
And and it's that stuff. It's the same thing
Yeah,
being, and I think because he's very sure of himself, because he's a big strong guy, which is gave him a little more ability to come out. Where
I'm not. I don't want to.
I'm not saying that that's the only reason. I'm saying I think maybe for him, because he's very confident.
But he didn't. I mean, he didn't. He didn't
come
come
out
out
right
with it
away.
right away.
No,
because
you're right. Because
so
you're
I don't want to
ashamed.
make it seem
You're
right. I don't want to make it seem like
You're right.
like you know, he's, you know,
He's just like, I'm a big strong guy. Oh, this guy did it. I came out.
No,
no, you're right. He didn't
got
come
through
out right
the
away.
and I mean, I assume that he did some therapy around it
Yeah,
or
you're
something.
right,
But
you're
he's
right.
still. I mean, the guy was never arrested or held accountable for his actions.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Which is a lot of times, you know, we're talking about changing the way that police are, about defunding the police. Let's be honest. And a lot of people, you see the argument, oh, who are you going to call when you get raped? And it's like,
exactly.
You know what? Women don't call the police when they get raped, because the police don't fucking help.
Oh, that's not even all of it. I mean, police basically have free reign over their prisoners, and they rape them.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I mean, and the percentage of rapes that are solved is pretty low.
Yeah, and I mean, how many? Just a few years ago, we were talking about how many rape kits were just sitting, like they never got tested, never got,
even in our state.
Exactly. And so it's like, if the work's not going to get done, there are so many more rapes that go unreported and sexual assaults that go unreported, and I mean, we've. I don't know.
We couldn't spend the money to send it to the crime labs to have that done, but we can buy tanks for our local police departments. We can spend money on that shit.
Yeah, sound booms that
exactly.
Fucking deaf take. I can't. It makes me angry, so we should just stop. But yeah, there's so much that we don't need to militarize our police officers. We don't need. I mean, we need to fucking defund them completely.
And anyhow, our book is the story's good. So you got Max. He's got divorce papers. Debating what to do.
Yeah, he's struggling with it, and I mean, a divorce is a big choice.
Sure.
Another thing that I think that we focus on a lot about how, you know, dangerous it is for divorce. And I mean, I remember, because my parents were divorced, I was like, I'm never doing that. I'm never getting divorced. It'll never happen. And I've very much changed my tune now that divorce is not failure. Divorce is, and you can have two people can be divorced and get along and just, I mean, really, people change. Like marriages work, and you can actively choose to stay married and work through it, or maybe it's, you know, it's too much work and you just can't or don't want to put in the work.
Right.
And you should just get divorced. Like, it's not, it's expensive. And so that means a lot of people can't do it. But
I was lucky. My last one in New York, because I was a bike messenger, I knew a lot of legal stuff. I knew where the paperwork was. I did it all myself.
Yeah.
It cost like $200.
But that's a lot of money to some people.
Oh, sure it is.
Who are stuck in relationships. Yeah. Like, if you've fallen out of love, it's okay to get divorced. Like, if you just aren't getting along, it's okay to get divorced. Like, leaving kids in a toxic place where they can't, you know, focus on even themselves because they're so busy listening to the toxic shit that is part of your relationship with your partner. Like, no, that's not okay. Like, getting divorced will do far more wonders for your children than staying together for them. Like, I don't understand this idea that parents have to stay together for the kids, because they, like, kids are pretty aware. Yeah. You know, they can sense the things going on around them, and
so
even when it's not in their face.
So Max,
back to the book.
Max is trying to find a job, and he ends up getting a job at Virtually Yours, which is
oh my god, we haven't even gotten to the main,
which is the company. It's a new company that basically they're a secretive company. What they do is they hire people like Max to create profiles And
I mean, they're essentially hiring people to catfish, but not really catfish because the other end of the line knows.
Right. And what they do is, so what happened?
Consensually catfish.
Right. So Ava signs up for this, and she is looking for a virtual boyfriend. And basically what happens is she picks a guy, and he has the qualities that she wants, and she can text them when she needs she needs flowers sent to her home, so her parents think that like somebody's actually sending flowers. The company will send flowers. They can send chocolates. They can do all kinds of stuff to make it seem like you're really dating someone, but it's like they're a busy person. I don't know if we'll get to meet you, if we'll ever get home, for dinner, parents, but they're busy. We're going out tomorrow night, and then you go out and your parents don't have to know.
And he was I can't remember what his name was. Her name was, she had used it, or her sister set up her profile. So she had just named her.
It was
Andy.
Adam, wasn't it?
Andy and Adam. Yep. That's right. Adam. So Adam was a doctor. So,
exactly.
He's a very busy guy. He can't, he was on call tonight. He couldn't come to dinner. Like there's always that built-in excuse. Oh, but we're, doing whatever. Like they kind of build a relationship, and he does text. He does talk about, texting with these other friends, but Adam and Andy had this like special connection.
And Max on the other end is the person that creates this profile that people want. And it turns out, first of all, he's a black man, but he knows racism, so he creates a white character,
right?
Because they have like stock photos.
Yeah,
and stuff.
It looks like. I mean, the company could like hire models to come in and take photos because,
and they have all different angles and all kinds of stuff, so you can send more photos when it's necessary.
Exactly.
But yeah, so they create this, but then on the other end, it's really two people talking to each other, like when they need to text to each other and stuff like that. I mean, you can create a fake persona.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
So both of you can, but I'm not sure how that would work. I mean, you could just both be catfishing each other basically and lying about everything, and it doesn't really matter because you're paying a service,
right?
And the service doesn't care. It turns out Max is there, like he shoots to number one because he clicks with all of the people that are paying for the service, and but he and Ava are connecting with each other online.
We should probably decide if we're calling her Eva or Ava.
I call her Eva. Ava.
You just did both.
Because you said it and you put it in my ear. But
see, I think I read it Ava, but it's probably
Eva. It could be Eva. Eva.
It's EVA.
Yeah,
right?
I know.
So
Eva. Could be Eva. Eva.
Okay. Anyway,
let's go with Eva.
Okay.
I've said Ava a lot, but you're right. Ava would probably be with an A.
Probably.
Eva. Sorry about that. I apologize to the creators, but it's probably Eva. And if it's not, you let me know. Let us know. You can DM me. But
into my DM.
So these two people, they're talking to each other online, and they run into each other in the real world too, and that's how this book progresses. The online and the offline people don't know who each other are, and if you know any,
because they both have fake names,
right? And if you know rom-coms, you know how this story goes. We don't have to tell you how eventually everything's going to crash, and but it's good. It's good. It does have the typical crash and burn, and then everything rolls around and comes back out. But
I did like that the situation was the gender stereotype was flipped, though. You know what I'm trying to say without me giving it away? Should I just give it away?
I don't know what you're saying. Don't give it away, but I don't know what you're talking about. But I'll agree. Yes, I love that part of the story. I don't remember, but I love that part of the story. But it was really good. I enjoyed it.
It's well worth the read.
Oh,
everybody definitely needs to read it.
It comes out on July 14th. It's just coming out. So make sure call your comic shop or go online and order.
I think it's digital only.
I'm sorry, it's Comixology. Yeah. It'll be out next week. So go, and if it's after the 14th,
Amazon. Yeah,
you can go and read it.
Kindle. Yeah. Search on your Kindle.
Yeah, but it's a good story.
And there's a lot of queer characters too that I like. Her best friend, who is I don't know if she owns the bar or she works at the bar, But she is tending the bar and talking. All these guys lust after her, and she's looking for the girl who's in front of her. So, yeah. And then there's the queer character who looks to me like they are gender fluid or gender nonconforming. They have a full beard and the long curly hair. Oh my gosh, they're just so cute.
No, it's fun. It's a fun book.
I love the diversity in there too.
It is. It's great. Everything, every part of it is really good. It's the story is great. The art is great.
And you see all these matches coming up for him for Max too. Yeah. New match.
New match. But he really is getting along with Andy.
So do you think that you would ever go on to I mean, I guess we're not really in the situation. You would want to work for. See, that's what I was thinking too. Like I would totally work for.
Oh, I would do it
for Virtually Yours.
In a minute, if I got paid to do it, fuck, I would do it in a minute.
Both of us have had experience with online dating, so I think we can.
Yeah.
I don't think that would be too far of a jump for us.
No, not at all.
Yeah, I would absolutely work for Virtually Yours.
Yeah.
Do you think it would be hard to have that fake persona? And
nah, I'd probably be myself.
Yeah, you think you'd just be yourself?
Oh, I
would imagine it would be. But because you see that they're chatting actually, and so there's gonna be a connection. You're gonna make a connection eventually.
Yeah,
I think that would be a sticking point for me. I connect to people really easily. I feel like not that I connect easily, but when I do connect, I fall hard.
You know what? I did it. I chatted for years ago.
Yeah,
and people don't believe it. And I've read stuff. People like. You can't fall for somebody you've never met. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. You just talk, especially if you talk to these people
for hours
every day
or
every couple days or whatever,
and
you're talking to them and
just everyday stuff. Yeah.
Sometimes it's not even that. You develop an just an attraction, a relationship online.
Yeah.
I remember ex-wife, her brother used to chat on AOL, and he was married on AOL. He had an AOL wife.
Oh yeah, I remember that being a thing. I mean, when I was a teenager, all these kids getting married.
And it was
virtual.
It was a big thing, and it can cause problems in relationships because you spend a lot of time on there chatting with somebody that's not who's right next to you, and it happens.
Yeah.
It may happen less now. Because chatting like that is not.
Yeah, are chat rooms even a thing anymore? Most of it's like it's kind of gone back to more message board stuff,
Reddit and stuff,
which
like
is
that.
Not necessarily an instant
thing.
But I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's group chats on the Big F, right?
Yeah.
I don't ever really use those. So there could be chat room type things on there.
I don't think so. But anyhow, this book, it hits all the good spots. It's a good read. It's enjoyable.
I think it's really relatable too, especially with all the, although, I mean, online dating they talk about, like, I'll say Tinder. They don't ever call it Tinder, but they're talking about swiping, which there's a lot more apps that are swiping now. But it is really an interesting way to do, because like sometimes I get in I'm not really at the moment, but I have recently been on Tinder looking through people, right? And it's like sometimes I just get in a mood and I just start swiping based on the first picture. Don't even read the bio. It's just like, whatever, just start swiping. Oh, you're cute. I'm not real attracted to you. Oh, you're, whatever. And so I mean, that's very superficial, but then you get into the next phase of it and nobody messages each other.
Right.
Nobody does. Yeah. And that's what you hear from everyone. Oh, I sent a message and then nothing else. Nothing came of it. So it's I don't know. Like it's I mean, if you pay for a service, like Virtually Yours is a paid service, so you're more apt to get something. Yeah. Yes, exactly, because you're paying for it. You want to get something out of it. Tinder, Bumble, OkCupid, Plenty of Fish. Those are all. I mean, they have paid aspects to them, and I wonder if when people are paying for them, if they're more. No, you don't think so?
No, because I think you just get access to more options.
Yeah, but why would somebody do that if it didn't if it didn't.
Oh, and Match.com.
That's a paid one, right?
Yeah.
That costs money.
Yeah.
So maybe Match.com does have more
maybe
people actually meeting, because the number of people I've matched with and never even said a word to, and I mean it's just as much on me as it is anybody else.
Or
like,
people that say something and then, or you say something and they respond once and then that's it.
And then that's it. Exactly. Yeah. It happens more often than I ever make a conversation with somebody. So I don't know. It's weird. It's weird.
Yeah. This app would be interesting. For sure.
I mean, I can't imagine that it's not ever going to become a thing either, because you know that there's people whose parents are, because they're from an older generation that thinks that that's all there is to life,
or an immigrant they're expected to get married and do that kind of stuff, and male or female. You know, you need to move out and get start a family.
Right. The American dream.
Exactly.
And so I wouldn't be surprised if a company like that could succeed.
Yeah. At least for short term.
Everybody knows about it, and then it's not that successful anymore, because people will be like, "No, I really have to meet your significant other so that I believe that they're not from virtually yours."
Yeah. No. Exactly. I'm sure. Probably the adults, like the parents, might not, or grandparents, or aunts or uncles, might not.
They're busy on Facebook.
It would be like siblings or cousins. It's like, you really got a boyfriend or a girlfriend there, or are you on that?
But they're not usually the ones harassing people.
No, but sometimes they're jerks too, or siblings too.
I know. You hear about people going to family reunions, and all you hear about is, when you're gonna get married. I have a friend who's
when you're gonna have
in her
kids.
30s. Yeah, who's in her 30s, and her mom's harassing her about getting married. And she's like, I'm okay, not
even that. It's like, when am I gonna get grandbabies?
Yeah, exactly.
That's not your problem. Anyhow,
she's like, I don't want children.
Virtually Yours, Comixology.
Jeremy
Holt, Elizabeth Beals. Good book.
Yeah, excellent. Loved it. I want another one.
Yeah,
it would be just about, Jeremy, or not Jeremy, the author.
Yeah.
It would be just about Max and Eva's relationship.
Yeah.
But yeah, I fell in love with them and their relationship, so I want more.
Yeah. No, agreed. All right. Until next time, my name is Mike.
And I'm Parker.
And this is
the Graphic Novel Podcast.